Reheh's managed in difficulty is brutal, only balanced by the fact your units get insane too. But what if we removed groves entirely?
Why the hell do I get experience for that?
After having a dream that doesn't foreshadow anything at all, we pick female Byleth for two big reasons. We head out to do our work as a mercenary with Gerald, but we don't have any work. Conveniently, however, the three most powerful people on the continent were awaiting us at our doorstep. Our job is to defend these three nobles from bandits. I gave whatever kills were possible to Edelgard for XP benchmarks later on. Without any extra stats, Kostas figures he can one-shot Edelgard. Yet Byleth jumps in the fray to defend Edelgard, but as we never got a point of defense, we die. Thankfully, my coach Sophus called for a quick little timeout. As Byleth can't really beat Kostas 1v1 right now, after much debate we figured the best strategy was to turn back time and rig a critical hit. The Knights of Saros, the local army, arrive late. Unexpectedly, their leader, Alois, exposes Gerald. Alois tried texting him, but Gerald left him on read for 20 years. Now that he got caught red-handed in front of his child, is forced to return to Garkmak Monastery. There, we meet Rehea, a totally reasonable person I don't recall whatsoever. She bestows Byleth a teaching position. A big mistake, as Byleth is the only person in Foden that doesn't know how to gain stats and level ups. However, as Rhea put her trust into a complete stranger, who am I to betray such trust? Chapter 1 showcases the insane difference between my units and the enemies in the form of a mock battle. What the heck are Manuela and Manaman feeding these guys? No way they're natty. To beat these roided up dudes, my main strategies are using Edelgard and Byleth because of their high base strengths, activating Bernadetta's personal skill for +5 extra damage, and lastly, abusing Tempest Lance's ridiculous +8 might with Ferdinand, my only lance user, all with support from Linhardt's heals. We started this map by luring out Lawrence with Byleth and Ashe with Bernie to activate a personal skill. However, Ignatz moves in alongside the two, creating a tricky situation. In the next player phase, it'll be impossible for me to kill everyone while Bernadette is in danger. So I kill Lawrence and Ashe while body blocking Ignatz from getting to Bernie with all my healthy guys. Then I can focus all my attention on Ignatz. After having dealt with this first wave, the rest of the map is fairly easy. I can take down the remaining members of the Golden Deer and Blue Lions at my own pace. Though Dimitri is way tougher than anyone on the battlefield. Oh, no. I couldn't kill him without risking someone getting KO'd. But that's fine because people won't die on this map and Linhardt wanted a nap. With our number advantage, we ganged up on Dimitri and won the mock battle. For chapter 2, the church assigned us a mission to kill a group of bandits we beat up in the prologue. Again, Byleth, incredible professor that she is, teaches her students about procrastination, delaying this task until the end of the month. During our procrastination, we teach our students the only viable life skills Byleth knows: weapon skills. So we can get access to some great combat arts later on. Good teachers don't have favorites, but Byleth isn't one. These last chapters, I did my best to give Edelgard as many kills as possible for level 5. This will give us the self-explanatory HP +5 skill and our first promotion. Promotions are incredibly important because it's one of the only ways to gain stats during this run. So when I reclass Edelgard into a fighter, I get... I swear it'll matter more later. Before you know it, it's the end of the month, so time to let my army of nearly untrained teenagers assault some bandits. No matter what you do, this map is insane. There are thieves with paths and crazy speed, poison strike archers, and fighters that are simply better than everyone I got. I had to equip a training sword on Edelgard so I wouldn't get doubled by the first fighter while actually retaliating. Though the top archer's assist puts me down to 1 health. Despite our bleeding Edelgard, via the sheer numbers advantage, we survived this deadly start.
Good job, team. Get ready for the next round.
A common theme with this map is that batches of free enemies will march onto your army constantly. But if you can deal with the first onslaught of enemies, you should be able to deal with the others for healing and good positioning to body block the past thieves. I applied a strategy of patiently waiting for enemies to dive in head first to the rest of the map too. Only Kostas doesn't let this slide and initiates an attack like in the prologue. But this fool didn't anticipate the power of the HP +5 skill, allowing me to live exactly. With Kostas lured in, our students massacred the guy, ending the map. Having successfully beaten a group of bandits, Rhea now tasks us with quelling a rebellion led by Lord Leonardo with utmost urgency. Unfortunately for her, I'm hungry, so I try to get some food in with good units such as Lysithia and Catherine. What do you mean she's not available for the Black Eagles? As Byleth fails to grow her students into proper warriors, the best way to up her class's performance is by stealing the best students away from other classes. I start by recruiting Sylvain, who wants to join my class the moment I offer him a spot because of his boobies. Another way to grow is by farming performance enhancing drugs in the greenhouse. These might seem nice to use right now, as a rocky burdock could give me extra damage, but I got some later plans for these. The story map is Fog of War, which means... What? Where did you... What? Thankfully, we are not alone, as Cavern and other green units add to our vision and make excellent cannon fodder. Apart from me getting ambushed occasionally, the enemies' stats and density are similar to those in Chapter 2. On top of that, Cavern basically beds half the map for you. After dealing with the Dark Mage, we suppress the fog, which will make the rest of the map a cakewalk. I also give as many kills to Edelgard as possible, including Lonato, so she can reach the required level threshold for intermediate classes. For Chapter 4, the monastery is on high alert because Cavern picked up Lonato's grocery list, on which he listed Rehea's flesh and blood. So while the church staff protects Rehea, they left boring places where nothing happens, like the Holy Mausoleum to us.
Those Central Church dastards have spotted us.
Fuck. Before the map, I recruited Annette as my mission assistant, who will become a staple for her rally abilities and decent magic. I also decided to let Edelgard attempt the certificate for Armor Knight, granting her massive defense points. Hilariously, by giving Edelgard a shield in my best battalion, she is temporarily broken. Armor Knight base stats to be hitting. While Edelgard right now is cracked, with her added defense and a recent monster breaker for +9 might, this is the point where many of my other units are falling behind. Take these mage reinforcements for example. I need nearly my entire army to take care of just 2 mages, all with some very shaky hit rates. Thankfully, as we clear the initial wave of enemies there and the mage reinforcements, the map is very slow afterwards. So, Edelgard can do most of the heavy lifting, while my remaining units attempt to be useful, making me finish the map in 24 out of 25 turns. Finishing the map allowed me access to the Sword of the Creator, a weapon the game tries to convince me is powerful by showing Battlefield and Mage 1v1, but we know her stats. Stuff is definitely RNG abused again. For Chapter 5, we are tasked with taking the Lens of Ruin back from Sylvain's evil brother. Before the map, I persuaded Lysithea to join my class by feeding her lots of sweets. For making Edelgard, with her increased defense, stand on a healing tile, I received no damage during auxiliary battles. I used this to get Death Blow on Edelgard and Warp on Lysithea, who could Faith Magic EXP as my adjutant. This map pulls no punches as its first reinforcements spawn early and close to you. Gilbert got assigned to defend us, however, he's about as good a bodyguard as he is a fodder, so he gets ready to get some milk. Thankfully, Gilbert allowed us the time to move our units far away from this group, so by the time they got to us, I had time to set up a formation to deal with them. Some feed reinforcements are super awkward to deal with because of their high speed and pass, but they couldn't deal with us because we had the power of friendship, making us perform the ultimate group hug body block. The rest of the map is a calm before the storm that is Miklon. Not that Miklon, that Miklon. Monster characters are a pain to kill because of their multiple health bars, crazy offense, and high HP stats. Even by preserving my monster effective combat arts and plenty of gambits, I can't kill all his health bars in a single turn. This is awkward because I don't have enough damage to kill his remaining life, and a single hit of his will kill all my characters, which means that I have to sacrifice some characters to make it out alive.
Miss.
That Miss was nice, but Byleth is sadly now in range of death.
Miss.
As I was saying, easiest boss in the game. For Chapter 6, Flame has gone missing. Sedef implores us to find her as soon as we can, but unfortunately for him, he doesn't quite know what he's dealing with. As we procrastinate all our tasks until the end of the month, the search for Flame is no exception. I had other much more important things to do this month, like recruiting Shamir and training her up as a sniper for Hunter's Volley, and an archer for a hit +20 during auxiliary battles. At the end of the month, despite putting zero effort into our search, we finally go down to Yurisa's basement to save Flame. This map requires you to either route every enemy through a giant map, which without Edelgard, who is conveniently absent from this map, seems impossible, battle. Thankfully, we can also end the map by killing the Death Knight. For giving Shamir my best battalion, a Steel Put Plus, and Rally Strength from a net, I still need 1 point of strength to kill the Death Knight. Thankfully for Shamir, we've been cooking. We let Lysivia warp her through the wall separating us and kill the Death Knight in a single turn. Having saved Flame's life, she now invites herself to my class. Not knowing that's a massive mistake. Battle of the Eagle and Lion is our next major event. However, it won't really live up to its name. I kept the majority of this map on my own little secluded island, far away from the battlefield, making the Blue Lions and Golden Deer do the vast majority of the fighting, while we pick up the remains and the few enemies that dare approach us. The Blue Lions have a major upper hand in this battle as they killed Claude early, and the Deer never even managed to hit Dimitri once. As a consequence of my camping, Dimitri has gained plenty of motivation. Hubert volunteered to lure Dimitri out, and didn't actually die because of his PhD in retreating. Much like chapter 1, this allowed us to gang up on him again with the remainder of our army, granting us a much deserved victory. Next chapter, I finally managed to recruit some students into my class in Lawrence and Ingrid, which also gave me access to their paralogs. For Lawrence's paralog, I had Lysivia warp Shamir over the river, making Acheron suffer the same fate as the Death Knight, granting me Jephersis. Ingrid's paralog was too difficult, so I ended up completing Sylvain's instead. I abused the stationary boss's lack of two-range weapons, random class mastery, and authority skills by shooting millions of arrows fired from broken bows. Breaking news! There's been a massive outbreak of a virus at Remire Village. Sylvain suspects there might be an epidemic. Unexpectedly, the entire village is up in flames as the villagers have either completely lost their minds or become green. Arguably, a worse fate. For this map, you try saving the green units for rewards. However, I neglected this, which I did by warping Edelgard into the nearby bush, tanking plenty of incoming enemies. The true villain is later revealed to be Tomas on turn 3, who transforms into Solon. He vaccinated the people of Ramire but spilled coffee on his computer, resulting in the end of the green units. Solon's big head isn't just for show because he turned out to make the smartest move a boss has done in this playthrough. Running the fuck away from Shamir. I had Shamir, Edelgard, and Lysivia chase him while I tried to block the Death Knight, his posse, and rampant villagers with the remaining scrub squad I left in the back, which is made possible because of the impregnable wall gambit. Sadly, through a miscalculation of enemy range, Lawrence was still in range of a cavalier, resulting in his death. But it's all good because I got the firsts anyway. To avenge Lawrence, I had Ingrid lure Solon in, and that big stupid head of his is a perfect target for Edelgard's Monster Breaker. Conveniently, Edelgard leaves as we have our first conversation with the Flame Emperor, who's asking us to join their ranks so he could annihilate those who slither in the dark. We answer yes, but they think we're lying, likely overestimating our intellectual prowess. After we catch our breath at the end of the chapter, Edelgard for some reason wants to make absolutely sure we don't want to cooperate with the Flame Emperor, which just leaves her surprised at the fact I'd still love to work with them. After a promise that we should meet at the Millennium Festival in 5 years that will totally not get discontinued because of a war, I recruited Mercedes to stomp the dancing competition with her high charm. After tons of favoritism, Edelgard can now access the Wyvern class, which has solid stats, so the Ingrid paralog I couldn't beat before is actually doable now. Before we know it, the end of the month approaches, so it's time for some crazy event to happen, which happens to be monsters appearing out of nowhere, so we get sent to deal with them alongside Gerald. After my paralog grinding, Bernadetta got the Vengeance combat art. It adds damage equal to the HP she's lost. Alongside a defensive adjutant who make it so you live on 1 HP point easily, she can get a massive 33 added attack points. Now I have 3 strong units and a dancer, dealing with the monsters was pretty easy. I even had time to talk to Gerald.
Maybe you should have taken command of me too.
Yeah, I would have loved a good pre-promo, bitch. Upon completion of the map, Gerald gets punished for his stupid jokes. Byleth attempts to save him, but with 13 strength she can't even deal damage to a mage anymore, leaving her dad to die. For chapter 10, the church decides to hunt down Gerald's killers, considering them too dangerous to live. However, they do so without us, fearing we'll act recklessly out of revenge. Thankfully, Edelgard is an incredible liar.
Not only does our professor wield a hero's relic,
Well, it has one
but
use,
no
but
here is
sure.
more powerful.
No, Edelgard, you're the most powerful dumbass. Convincing Rhea we actually are the best ones for the job. In preparation for the map, I promoted Edelgard into a warrior, which has the highest base strength out of any class she can access. Conveniently, she's caught on to his cooking. Our rocky products we've been making all game long got taken in by her in an instant. Now, her strength is virtue free, but it's at the cost of us now having a drug addict lord. The map itself is incredibly easy, as we only have to kill Kronia to defeat it. After getting Bernadetta to 1 HP, she fittingly one-shots Kronia with vengeance. Kronia refuses to die after clearly being killed, so Solon does the job instead. Finding Byleth's presence bothersome, he banishes her to the void. But through plot convenience, we fusion that with Sophis and get out as quickly as we got in. Solon's response is to become the new boss of this chapter we need to kill, which Edelgard does with pleasure. Chapter 11 is the last month during part 1 where I can still do Paralogs. After having recruited Eloise, we do just that. In particular, Ash's Paralog is great for extra movement, while Sedef and Flame's Paralog gives one of the best battalions in the game. After the Paralogs, Edelgard grinds for a little while on a regular skirmish, while Zovate's chilling on her back as she's carrying him. While Edelgard's getting attacked by loads of bandits, she's also teaching Zovate how to use an axe. While not a valuable skill to him under normal circumstances, he needs it to qualify for Wyvern Rider, so I can kill the boss of this chapter. Fun fact! Edelgard is the boss of this chapter. After taking 10 consecutive Rocky products, she now thinks she's the most powerful being alive, and I have to face the monster I just created. Through striding, rallies, and dances, Sylvain can reach Edelgard on turn 1, yet we barely lose out on the damage needed for a kill by using swift strikes. Fortunately for us, Sylvain's crest adds +5 damage when using combat arts, which he proc twice. After beating her up, Rhea lectures Edelgard on how she should die for betraying the church, then orders me to kill her. It's my fault for getting Edelgard drunk on power, so it's my responsibility to see things through to the end. Just kidding. Betraying the church is funny, and more importantly, I prefer fighting with this monster over against her. So I joined Edelgard's side, refused to elaborate, and leave. With no time to wait, we launch our assault on Garreg Mach. The objective of this map is to kill Rhea. However, she won't appear until you kill Sedef, Gilbert, and Flame. Alternatively, she can get tired of waiting and enter the battlefield on turn 10. None of the first wave of bosses were too hard to kill, however, I wasn't quite ready for Rhea on my first attempt. Luckily enough, I came up with a funny idea. I warp Byleth over the gate with Lysithea, and let her take the stronghold before Rhea enters the battlefield, most notably denying Rhea 30% avoidance. This makes her a sitting duck for Edelgard's brave act, finishing the map off in a very silly way. Though we win this battle, Rhea transforms into the Immaculate One, firing off an attack so powerful the game was afraid to show on screen. Yet through data mines, I got footage of how this looked. You're fired! My job ends here!
I'll say when this ends.
Byleth, as any normal person does, decides to cope in the best way possible by taking a well-deserved vacation. Though at chapter 13, Byleth remembers a promise we made to meet up at Garreg Mach for the Millennium Festival, effectively ending our vacation. Edelgard awaits us there, asking us what we've been doing.
What have you been doing all this time? Where have you been?
I was just sleeping in like a river.
Joking? At a time like this?
And clearly she's never had a great vacation like us, thinking that Byleth sleeping that long was a joke. Thankfully, she's not mad, caught me up to speed on what's been happening during my vacation, and assigned us the job of tactician/drug dealer. In my absence, the war she waged is now at a stalemate. It turns out having a nearly mute teacher makes your students somewhat bad at war tactics, so it's up to us to lead the Imperial Army to victory. Before starting the map, I had a couple stat boosters still. Some speed boosting ones for the newly added Yuritsa, HP ones for Bernie, and a couple leftover ones for Edelgard. I'm also forced to go to the greenhouse 2 to 3 times a month now for Edelgard's Rocky Burdock addiction. We start part 2 by attempting to conquer the Great Bridge of Myrddin, yet it's guarded by Judith, the hero of Daphnel and one of Lester Alliance's greatest soldiers. she got one shot by Bernadetta. Having conquered the Graveyard of Myrddin, there's only one pillar of hope left for the Leicester Alliance: Claude. The master tactician, both the smartest and strongest Leicester has to offer, will be our toughest challenge yet. Is what I'd love to say, but I just danced for Edelgard who won around with Claude. And that's how I conquered an entire nation in like 4 turns. With the Leicester Alliance defeated, only the Kingdom of Fargus remains, backed up by the Church of Saros. For this map, the Church engages us in an all-out duel for Garrett Mach. Leading the charge is Sedef, backed up by not Shamir and not Alois. This map will end after I kill every boss on the map, yet they're far away and there's a lot of terrain which makes reaching them quite difficult, so most people opt to play defensively. But I am built different. For stride and warps, Bernadetta passes through all enemies guarding Sedef and one-shots him with Lewin, while Edelgard with a small warp from Manuela reaches not Shamir and one-shots with Raging Storm, a combat art that alongside extra damage makes me move again, with the only downside being it costs 4 points of durability from Aimer. Flame decides to show up out of nowhere, but I Raging Storm her. Honestly, those 4 points of durability were more valuable than her life, and with only not Alois left, Edelgard finishes him off, showing off this fun new toy for the first time. For chapter 16, Hubert and Edelgard want to go grocery shopping for a Garfium, as it's the only item which can be used to repair Aimer. Unfortunately, this material is quite rare, yet we've got an intel that Cornelia at Aryan Road has monsters that drop this item. Before our trip to Aryan Road, however, Edelgard reached level 30. She's got many amazing skills now, but needs one more by mastering the Wyvern Master class, Defiant Crit. I do this by making her Eureza's adjutant, who with the Aegis Shield is effectively untouchable in a stronghold. With Defiant Crit active, the Keyhole Wyvern Co Battalion, Axe Crit plus 10 for mastering Axis, a critical ring, and weapons like a Killer Axe or Aimer with building crit points, our crit rate reaches disgustingly high numbers, making Edelgard unstoppable. The objective for this map is to kill off the bosses again. I start off by striding my units so I can reach the first group of enemies awaiting us. Edelgard could easily one-red Rodrigue with a Brave Axe. I dealt with not Felix and surrounding paladins by using the Raging Flames Gambit, preventing them from moving, and dealing good damage to the enemies around them, which allowed Lysivia to kill a paladin with Dark Spikes. I then let Edelgard kill the left Fortress Knight, and I let Gareza guard Byleth from the right one. Gwendol will foolishly chase after us the moment we're in his range, so he was by far the easiest boss to deal with. I also have flying units on the east, however, because of their surrounding mages near the Titanus, by the time I laid Gwendol to rest, I hadn't even attacked it once. So Edelgard had to help these scrubs out. Girl had to work hard for her in a Garfium. With 2 remaining bosses left, I stride for both Bernadetta and Edelgard, then warp both of them with my Bishop Lysithia, and they face no issues one-rounding their respective targets. Before our final battle is approaching, we visit our dead father's grave to decide who we're going to marry.
Someone I love.
Oh yeah, I never supported anyone. For this battle, we go to the Tiltine Plains, facing off against the Kingdom army with support from the Church. This map's objective is to kill all bosses again, which we are plenty experienced in. However, this map is massive, so choosing it in one turn is rather hard, yet not impossible. I started off by striding Eureka, who will be useful later, and Edelgard. I then give Edelgard the Blessing Gambit, so she can engage in combat with an enemy she can't hope to beat to get a 1 point of HP. Now I have reliably activated Defiant Crit. There's one small issue with this build.
Oh no!
Whenever Crest of Flames proc, Edelgard will be out of Defiant Crit range, denying herself 50% crit. When enough that can go wrong, I'll just show you my reactions.
The crit is good. The not crit part is less good. I'll see if I can kill Dimitri. Oh yeah, baby. Okay, killing Saros is gonna be the hard part now. I need some serious bullshit to make this happen. Holy shit, let's go! Oh my god, Edelgard, what? Oh hey. I did not expect that, bro. Hey, a bunch of guys are just like, hey, fuck up. Bye, bye, bye. Alright, and the only guy we have left is this bishop, who I will attempt to Brave Lance. I have a bunch of shots. Come on, only one. Come on. Let's go! Hey, we done told you plays in one turn now. Let's go. Anyone could do it.
Upon my victory, the church army retreats, while Rhea curses Byleth for betraying her. But all she does is just kinda stand there. Blame Edelgard, not me. She's doing the heavy lifting. With her dominant victory over the Kingdom army, Rhea is the last one stopping our quest for world domination. But unfortunately for us, she's a tough obstacle to get over, transforming into the Immaculate One. Up to now, Raging Storm Criticals have been my solution to everything resembling a threat, and by repairing it with the Argarthian for chapter 16, it still is. But believe it or not, it's not enough. The boss of this chapter, the Immaculate One, has such a large health bar that even crits from aimer aren't enough to one-shot. Yet, after devising a lot of tactics and failing a bunch, I figured out a seemingly reliable strategy on how to beat her. I made you reach that Death Knight again for Lancefire. Through rallying both of his and Edelgard's strength, I was hoping their damage would suffice to kill Rhea together. So I'll show you my live attempt of doing this strategy for the first time.
I actually have room to warp one more unit, which I was not expecting. I guess Sylvain could go there? I don't think it will actually work. You know, fuck it, we ball. He should not be in range, right? Oh, he is in range. That's a pleasant surprise. Well, time to go start attacking this dude with Edelgard now.
So it's
Oh, let's go! We healed! I believe my miracle this way should still be intact. It is intact! Let's go! Now I can go for another Raging Storm. Okay, clean. I believe the next one should also kill. Can't stop her, baby. Would I survive another? Because I have Miracle, right? I think I can. If it doesn't work, then whatever. I'll try, you know? Hubert... Okay, I should Miracle my first hit, right? No, okay, it doesn't work like that. Oops. That's fine. Wow, that's so much damage. Holy shit, Rehea. I would like to save that much damage for next turn, actually. So, I think I'll sack Sylvain out. Yeah, goodbye, Sylvain. Your sacrifice won't be in vain, bro. No mercy! Oh, that Crest of Fraplar was awkward, but not like awful. Okay, we still have one user mirror left. If this crits, that'd be great. If it doesn't, maybe I need to rely on weird shit then. Regardless, I'll still be able to live. Yeah, aimer broke. We got movement +1. Absolute best time, obvious. All that time I didn't even have the critical equipped. I need to get a bit lucky for this, but it's certainly manageable. I need one crit. Let's go. And now I need a hit. Hey, hey! Let's go! We finally beat Rehea. Oh my gosh, man.
I want to especially give a huge shout out to the developer in charge of balancing aimer for not showing up to work today. This run was pretty hard around the early and mid game sometimes, but especially in the end game just played a very similar to a normal Three Houses playthrough. So subscribe if you want to see me do something even harder.